Yo dudes! Welcome to Korean styled easy noodles. This is a delicious simple dinner.
Takes 10 minutes, the sauce is incredible. We're using rice vermicelli noodles. We're going to chop our veg to make it a little bit more interesting. Quick, easy, tasty, delicious, and my kids love it too.
And you can use whatever veg you want. So first step, we're going to make our sauce.
Okay, into our sauce, I have 2 tablespoons of water. I'm going to put some toasted sesame seeds. So I have about 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame seeds.
Those are just white sesame seeds?
Yeah, just toast them briefly, just on a dry pan.
Well, aren't you great, Steve?
Next step, Mr. Flynn, will you take a microplane and just grate those for me? 2 cloves of garlic, and there's a finger, half a thumb size. So if you're using organic ginger, which we are, don't peel it. Just give it a good clean. Give it a clean, but you know, whatever suits you.
While we're making the sauce, I'm just going to pop our noodles on to cook. We've got wholemeal vermicelli noodles. Actually, these are brown rice vermicelli noodles. So vermicelli just means that they're really fine noodles. And definitely when trying to choose noodles, try to choose ones that are whole grain or whole in variety, because they'll have much more fibre in it.
So back to our sauce. 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, 3 tablespoons of our darling tamari.
Could I use soy sauce, Steve? I couldn't.
Yes, you could use soy sauce if you don't have tamari.
Okay, so recap, we got 2 tablespoons of water, we got some toasted sesame seeds, about 2 to 3 tablespoons.
1 tablespoon of liquid sweetener of choice.
So it could be maple syrup, could be agave syrup, we're using date syrup here.
Gochugaru, also known as Korean chili powder, I'm going to go 1 tablespoon of that, approximately.
If I didn't have gochugaru, what could I put, Steve?
You could use a combination of chili flakes and paprika.
Okay,
will work great.
Good to know.
I have a little bit of gochujang, which is a Korean chili paste. Approximately 1.5 to 2 tablespoons.
So if I didn't have that, what would I do instead? That's not
you
very
could
common.
use a, what's the Thai-based one?
Thai red curry paste.
Like a chili sauce. Right after the list.
Yum! It's sweet, it's acidic, it's umami. Jeez, that's got it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then we're going to whisk that together. That sauce is...
Whoa!
And with this sauce, if it's too thick, just add a little bit more water. If it's too thin, add a little bit more of that gochujang.
And don't worry about remembering, we'll put the recipe down below. There's a link to it down below this video.
Right, so we've got our pan
on a high heat.
We're going to start with cooking our mushrooms. So we're using a combination of chestnut and oyster mushrooms. With our chestnut, just roughly chop them up.
I'm going to oil our pan, and as soon as our veg is prepped, we're going to add it straight to the pan.
Yeah. I like to rip up oyster mushrooms. Wow, they're beautiful. That's like a king oyster. There they go. So initially what we want to do is just sear our mushrooms, meaning get a kind of nice, even, kind of golden seal on the surface, and then we're going to just turn these mushrooms into flavor bombs.
So yeah, just to create compression with the mushrooms, we've got a clean bottom. That is clean. I know it looks a bit dirty, but it's not. A clean bottom pot. Why are you laughing?
Your bottom.
Why are you laughing?
And just compress. We're trying to draw the moisture out and creating just a greater compression, which means increasing the surface area on the bottom of the pan to encourage more caramelization and more flavor development.
Well, I think it works almost like a double broiler. You've got you've got heat coming from the bottom and heat coming from the top. But the compression, a pan always works better. Stephen sometimes tries a lid, but he's actually wrong. A pan actually works better.
Correct. Okay, veg. We've got some scallions there.
Yeah.
These are from our farm. You do not need a farm to cook these vegetables.
That's
Sorry,
awful.
we're full of awful jokes. Chop them.
We're dads. We're allowed like dad jokes.
There's a nice fancy term for chopping them at an angle.
It's called angle chopping. Very good one.
No, if anyone knows the expression to chop them at an angle, there is a lovely chefy expression, like chop them at a 45. Nah, I can't remember.
Yeah, miter cut.
That's the carpenter line, guy. Okay, you're gonna pick them up and we'll pop these in. The scallions in with it. We're gonna pop the scallions, or the green onions as they're known in England. And once our mushrooms look like they've developed a little bit of flavour, we're gonna prep the rest of our veg. Just turn the heat down on that. So with our veg, what we're trying to do is to create interest in shape. So I'm gonna julienne our carrot and our courgette. So I'm going for thin matchstick-like slices, and we want them to be mostly raw. This isn't necessarily traditionally done, but this is our interpretation and how we like it. We're 2 Irish lads cooking a Korean dish, so we're doing our best.
Korean style dish.
Yeah, taking inspiration from around the world.
So our noodles are cooked. It was literally 4 to 5 minutes. I'm just going to drain and rinse, and we're going to save them to add at the end with the sauce.
This is my favourite. We're growing 4 varieties of courgettes on the farm. Can't remember the name of this variety, but it's got this beautiful, sweet, kind of almost like juiciness to it.
So this is a good way of kind of practicing mindfulness, these fine chops, this kind of mandling or matchsticking.
But it's also, we often say one of the 6 flavors in cooking is texture. And if you do chop them slightly different, you'd be amazed at how you literally interact with the vegetable differently. So I have 1 red pepper here that, again, I'm going to just continue on and just slice all our veg julienne. I think it will give just more intrigue.
Okay, so we're gonna put our pan back on a high heat. Boom, there we go. So our mushrooms have been fried and our scallions, and we're gonna start going in with all our other veg. I am gonna pop a few sprays of oil. We always use spray oil just because you're gonna make sure you're using less oil. And oil is the biggest source of calories in most of our diets. You know, it's got
4,000 calories per pound.
Okay, so in go all our julienne veg. Look at that, for beautiful, lots of multicolored matchsticks. Definitely want to go in with a decent pinch of salt.
Just to help break down the cell wall. We want this hot, high heat, and we want to keep it moving around the pan. We've got a couple of pak choi leaves. Pak choi or bok choy. Pak choi typically is the bigger, older brother. Bok choy is the smaller, little more, smaller...
Stumpier brother.
Any of the remaining pak choi veg, just chop that, julienne that. That'll just add to it. The stalks are quite juicy, crunchy. They'll just add a nice bite to this dish. And we only want to cook this at a high heat, just so we're getting a little tiny bit of char on the surface, so we're not cooking this for very long. This whole dish should take from start to finish approximately 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, so I've fried this down for probably 3 to 4 minutes. We've added a little bit of salt, and now we're ready to add our noodles and our sauce. So in go all our noodles.
Oh yeah, they look lovely. That's just 250 grams of noodles. We've got our sauce here. Let's go with the first of our sauce in here. Oh, this sauce is delicious. Going with half the sauce initially, just so we have a little bit of spare. A little bit of chili I'm going to slice just to serve it with. This is a red chili. And I love coriander in any type of a noodle dish. It may not traditionally be served. And as we said, we're 2 Irish lads doing our interpretation.
Cooking a Korean-inspired dish.
Yeah. Using as much of our farm veg as we possibly can.
Beautiful, yeah, the courgette, the pak choi.
The scallions?
The scallions, yeah, the peppers. We'll have peppers in the next couple of weeks. I saw the start of the red peppers yesterday.
Yeah.
There was red chili peppers and there was green.
Coriander, also known as cilantro. And
we do a farm Instagram account if you want to check that out. Happy Pear Farm.
Yeah.
It's a 4-acre regenerative organic farm. We're on an adventure to grow the most nutrient-dense veg we can.
More?
Yes, please.
Well, let's go all out with the sauce. Let's give it all here.
Beautiful.
This is also a wonderful dipping sauce. So if you do make, maybe you'll make some gyoza, or you'll maybe make some dumplings or some wontons, or.
The sesame seeds are beautiful.
Yeah, they really are. The scallions look great. A little bit of coriander just to go through.
Very easy, simple, delicious. Here we go. Dedicated to you. The greens just look stunning.
10 minutes start to finish. The way the veg are chopped is just a small little detail, but it's a big detail.
Yeah, it's really tasty. Yeah, good call. Nice one.
Wow.
So as we said, there's a full written recipe down below.
That tastes like a takeaway. Like a really flavorful.
Really, really good.
Like serious. Like my mouth there's so many aspects.
Spicy.
There's acid, sweet, umami, acid.
And the texture of the veg is really, really good. So that was a great tip. That was Steve's idea of chopping all the veg into juliennes, which is long matchstick type ones. That was carrot, courgette, pepper. You can use whatever veg you went for this. And as we said, we used a whole wheat noodle. We used a brown rice noodle, but try to use a brown noodle, much higher in fiber. And the sauce is what really makes this. So the recipe is down below. You can click on the link to that. And if you want to join our recipe club, that costs you literally $2.99 a month. You got access to
less than a cup of coffee.
Less than a cup of coffee. And there's a great community about supporting you to eat more plant-based. Steve does a stretch class once a week. We're starting doing a meal prepping, weekly live meal prepping starting next week, I think. Starting very soon. Not sure when you're watching this. But yeah, do check that. There's a link to that too, which we'd love to invite you to be part of.
That is so tasty. Thank you for watching. Send
Cheers.
loads of love. Keep eating your veg.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.